Hi, this is Danny Hammond with the Foreclosure Solutions Group, and um, I've got a couple of announcements, and then I'm going to start making a point of what I wasn't able to get through to people generally over all these hundreds of years that I've been doing this. Um, and I'm going to be kind of redundant. I'm going to remind you of what you're not looking for and try to keep you from looking for that because there's only one thing we are looking for, and it's easy. It was meant to be easy. But if someone decides they're going to, if someone decides that they're going to rule against you no matter what, then um, you're going to have to still stay on message, and we've got relief for that. And in fact, is I've been working on it for the last year, and I've been successful. And that's kind of a new word to be tossing around. Okay, the announcements are tomorrow, Tuesday, is the last or the next to the last session in the workshops. And I'm just pretty much delighted with the way it worked, the way I wanted it to work. And that is that um, I, I've just been learning, and way too slowly, that I'm not getting through either from writing um, about the different subjects that we just have to know about, and uh, and then trying to do it with a video because people want to watch videos. The thing is that you're not getting the message, and the message is so hard you don't know that. So you're listening to me say things that sound really good, and you think that you're learning how that helps you, but you have to know how to apply these things, um, how to use them. So anyway, tomorrow night at 6 is workshop, but Wednesday, it's time we can do another group now, and we can do a bigger group. In fact, is I really think it's really good. What I've noticed is that even the fact that there's more people talking and teaching and helping each other, kind of making friends. I mean, as you're looking at them, you think they're all in the same room with you, but they were from all over the country. Georgia, New Mexico, 3 Minnesotas, and on and on and on. Um, and I had intended for that to become kind of a camaraderie, and the fact that we're showing exactly what it is you're going to write and why you're going to write it. And even when you do, then we're going to grade it and help you put it together, get it ready to file. That's phase one. Now, this group, I don't know, I'm not trying to push anybody into phase two, but phase two is going to be almost necessary. And that is because once you file the complaint, the very first thing that the bad guys that don't have any right to your house, or to your debt, they're going to immediately do a motion to dismiss. You're going to immediately have to answer that. If you don't answer it, then you've told them it's true. And that's for every single thing that's said. Uh, I haven't ever been to a federal court hearing. I've been in the federal court doing, filing uh, paperwork back and forth, motions back and forth a couple hundred times or more, and I've never seen a judge. So I'm not worried about you getting caught up in court. State court judges, I noticed that we have a little bit more hearings going on, and that's just an intimidation move. Um, and I think that we'll talk more about that later. But the main thing, I'm going to give you one tip. Oh, I just said that we're going to have a question and answer um, session again, and that's for anybody that wants to come. Use um, the email sections in the description below, and if you have any trouble, uh, you won't. And you can do the detail form again, send that in, and if there's nothing new, don't, just tell us that. But that'll go straight to us. The email goes straight to us. we were just having trouble earlier this year in that there's just too many foreclosures right now. I mean, there's no reason for it. Even Trump, even Trump, and that's what they're what is causing all of the crisis right now is the crisis that we're in. It started immediately after 1999, the repeal of the regulation of Wall Street and not put anything back, and it has just gone on. No one fixed it. So there, what happens is that when you see that you can't be stopped, you just keep going, and that's what they're doing. They're not being stopped because there's too many. They have too much help from the judiciary. That's, I think, going to change a little now, um, but we're going to have to change it from our end more than they do on their end. So anyway, we're going to just have question and answers. You ask anything you want, I just answer it, and I don't. I'm not trying to recruit anybody into the workshops. I just think they're the best way I've found to help people, and it's infinitely less money, than attorneys and than even me one-on-one, because I'm really getting to do what I wanted to do. Just say the thing one time, and 50 people hear it, and then even if I repeat it, I just repeat it one time, and 50 people hear it, or 20, or whatever the number is. I'm really, really jazzed about that, and I'm really jazzed that people are starting to see there that we, and the borrowers, the homeowners, that we have no burden to prove that some servicer with a fake name um, is committing fraud. They are committing fraud. But the thing is, what's really true is that if we do what we're supposed to do, there is no case at all. And so there was no fraud. And this is going to be kind of hard to straighten out if we wanted to try to sue them later, although I'm perfectly willing to jump into that. If nothing had ever gone wrong, and see, that's almost my whole career, was, a lot of my career was before the year 2000. I never saw any of this, none of it, none. I never saw 3 foreclosures in my whole life. Because they weren't there. They weren't having. People had the note. The bank had the note. Now there's no banks. We don't really have any banks anymore. We have no banks in in the crap that you guys are getting. I can't figure out who the foreclosing party is supposed to be, but it doesn't matter. All that matters is this: you're watching everyone that comes in and sends anything to you or threatens you or says they have a right to do anything, including the non-judicial foreclosure. You can't do that without a reason. You have to have the same, you have to have the note. It was never meant to be, oh, we're just, it's a non-judicial foreclosure, so we're just going to do it and then we're going to evict them. And they never, these guys are trying not to ever go to court. And the reason is because their case is so weak. It's horrible. Almost every single deal I've seen since 2010 involves the um, uh, assignment of the mortgage or deed of trust, which is the security instrument. And so, all that we're doing, what we're watching the most, and it's made a lot easier, and everybody's in the workshop seem more comfortable. I asked the other day, we were supposed to be doing it for an hour. We did a 3-hour session. And I said, you guys have gotten awful quiet. You got no more questions? And somebody raised their little electronic hand, and I said, what? And she went, Danny, you've got us down to the simplest way. And we got it. I couldn't have been, that's the greatest thing I've ever heard. Danny, we've got it. And that was cool. And so we're going to finish them up, but we're not dropping everybody. When you finish phase 1, and you're getting ready to put, we're going to help you get it filed. The class part, or if that's a class, it is, I call it a workshop. It's class, workshop, whatever. But still, they're going to harass you. And we're going to help be the backstop. We're not going to let it go. And especially in phase 2, you're going to learn, how to look at emotion against you, and to remember that you've got, if you don't know what to do with it, even after the studying, you got to make sure we know, and we know right away, because you have to answer it. If you don't answer anything that's said, you have to object to, um, because it's not like Boston Legal or Perry Mason. We're never going to go to a trial, a big long trial, and where they shout objection, sustained. We're never going to do that. We do it in writing. Um, when I say we never are going to do that, there'll be some, probably, but I've only seen them as harassment items, and we got through that, and actually the case remains the same because I don't want you to say anything in a hearing. I don't want you. I mean, you should be polite, but you're just going to say, look, um, we're we're happy with the words that we've written, and that's all we need. You don't have to talk. You you have a right to remain silent. Miranda. Every violent movie has Miranda rights in it. Okay. So anyway, the the thing that I want you to get in your head is that you're not looking for the fraud that they're committing. That's not your burden. Their burden is to prove that they are not committing fraud. That's their burden. They have they have to say that that's why they have to have their injury. Their injury means that you have not paid someone that loaned you money, and none of these guys that I've seen in years, they aren't the right guys. The thing was done in such a terrible way that the notes are actually going to not help them. You know, if you win, you win, and it really shouldn't be that way. But we can't keep from keeping our money and our homes. We can't we can't give them to someone because that's the whole point. No one, they don't know who it is either. They don't know where the money went. So anyway, the we're relying on standing. Standing means that you have a right to go into the court and file your complaint and talk about it. But you can't do that unless you have standing. You can't have standing unless you've written down on the um, first filing, the first pleading of the foreclosing party, whoever it is. They had to have written, in order to be a foreclosing party, they have to write, we have suffered an injury, and here's our concrete and particularized proof that that injury was done by Danny Hammond. He's the causation of our injury, um, and therefore we have a right to go into court and file our complaint. Before that, they're doing everything before that. Nothing happened before that. None of you guys, even your non-judicial foreclosure is void because they have to. They're doing that foreclosure without going to court, but they still have to same. They have to have all the same documents, and they can't have assignments of mortgage and assignments of deed of trust. They can't have those, but they got to have a note. I haven't no notes. They're not even asking for notes anymore. They aren't, and we aren't. I don't. I could care less if I know where the note is, as long as they don't have it and your name isn't on it and it's all done correctly. But I haven't seen it in so long, and I grew up. My dad had me doing this when I was 17, and I grew up knowing how it was supposed to work, and it's not working the way it's supposed to work. What they're doing can't be done, and we're going to get stronger and stronger at it. And that's the other thing is by doing multiple people and they got to know each other and they all tell someone else and then those tell someone else, we can build a bigger movement if we can keep everyone involved, even once they're done. Um, a bigger and bigger movement until we can actually start shoving people around. And we are over that subscriber list that said subscribe, but hey, you got to click the likes. Keep clicking the likes, even if you don't like it, if you don't like what I wrote, don't click the like. But I mean, what you guys tell me is that you like it, and I don't get any unlikes or whatever they would be. Um, so click likes, you keep it going, and then when you bring, we may do something like if you can bring other people in that that may want to do it. Some kind of a discount for both of you on the fee, so we can keep the classrooms up because we can afford to keep doing this, and I'm more comfortable than I've been in a long, 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 long time. I'm more rested than I've been in a long time, so everything's good. Oh, and there was supposed to be there's I almost forgot to say it again. Um, there's a workshop on Thursday, but I've just been informed that's Thanksgiving. And the problem is, I'm living in the woods and I'm close to the Lake of the Ozarks and I can put a boat on it and then I'm on Lake of the Ozarks. But right now, I'm in the woods and I can't see anybody. And so I'm not thinking about my family Thanksgiving because they're not within 100 miles of here. Okay, that's it. And be good, rest, feel comfortable, and let's beat this thing. I I I was really getting close to quitting, and I'm not now. So thank you very much. And Wednesday night, free Q&A. You'll still have to get and watch here and or go my website, foreclosure fraud answers dot blogspot.com. It'll be there too, but we'll make sure that you get it and find it. Everybody has been so far. So the Q&A, and I don't know what it'd be like if we'd get more people, but it seems like it would be fun. So good evening. Have a good evening, and just a couple things I need to tell you. Talk to you later. Bye.